because I was making a movie.
And I was like, yo, what's up? Hey.
And now we're here.
Wait, before we get started.
Yeah.
The C's are what you're answering?
Yeah, so all this...
All right, I'll count you in. Ready?
Here we go.
All right, roll in. 5, 4.
How we doing, everybody? It's your boy Carlito, the one and only, and I'm here with...
Julia Merrion.
The one and only as well. First off, I just want to talk about why she's here today. Why are you here?
Well, I'm here because I am going to be the lead in Carlito's upcoming feature film, Pipe Dream. So I'll be playing Charisma Dream, and I'm real excited about it.
Yes, it's my first feature. I've done shorts and things like that, but now we're just here to talk and get to know each other a little better. So
just here to have a little conversation.
Yeah. So we got some questions. If you wanna
All right.
start out.
So what drew you to share stories in the first place?
I've always had a big imagination, and I've always wanted to share it somehow, but never knew how to or when to. So once I got to college, it was easier with the talent around me and the resources and things like that. So it was easier for me to do it, and I want to do it because I have stories that I want to share for the world to see so they can be inspired to, you know. That's something I want to do, and to touch others around the world. Like, that's why I'm in this business.
Nice.
Yeah. For you, what attracted you to this role?
To this role?
Yes.
I feel like I'm a lot like Charisma, where it's like I've always kind of wanted the acting dream, and like I've always been like working at it, but it doesn't just like fall into your lap, you know, like it comes with a lot of hard work, and it comes with a lot of training and a lot of like other shows and stuff. And so I just connect with her on like that kind of deep, like we both have that similar dream. We're both having like the same struggle, because the story is realistic, right? Like this is just like how it is to be an actress in the modern world and to like be trying to achieve your dreams. So 100%. I don't know, I just think she and I are one and the same in the battle of the acting world right now.
It's a battle for sure.
Yeah. All right, how do you deal with rejection or self-doubt?
Self-doubt, I feel like it's something we all deal with, you know. It's about how we talk to one another, or how we talk to ourselves. I like to, when I think about rejection, I think of God's protection, you know. God's rejection is God's protection, because if it is rejected to me, all I can do is how I respond to it, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just how I respond to it. So, and I see it as a greater meaning to something greater, so something bigger. Yeah, that's how I deal with it. What about you?
I feel like if I get rejected, I get one good cry, and then you just keep
you
going, you know. It's definitely like a prayer and a good cry. Like I allow myself like 1 hour of like self-pity where it's like, oh man, and then it's just like, all right, get back onto the grind. Like it's not worth staying in the sadness or anything, especially because there's so much more like in the world to do, and so much more like coming for me, that it's like I want to accept those feelings. I want to have them, you know, they're valid, but like you get an hour and then it's like just keep going back, because if you stay stuck in something like that, you're never going to move forward.
100%. Can't be stuck in like the negativity of that. I understand that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you prepare mentally or emotionally for a performance?
One of the things that like one of my friends taught me a while ago was to make a playlist for every character that you are. So like find songs that like kind of fit their storyline, like find stuff that's like kind of their attitude, and then when you're about to like go in and be on stage or like film, you kind of listen to it on the way there to like get yourself in that headspace and stuff. And I think that it creates like good separation from me to the character, where it's like that's my transition time. And those aren't songs that like I listen to. They're just songs that like, yeah, that's Charisma. Like she would totally listen to this song.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you learn that? What friends were you that? Like,
so when I was in the cast of Mary Poppins, 3 years ago, I was Jane Banks, and Mary Poppins, her name is Erin, she was like, look at this awesome playlist I have for Mary. And I was like, do you make playlists for all of them? And we'd been in like probably 3 shows together before, and she was like, yeah, here's mine from the last show. And I was like, dude, we should all be making like playlists for each of our characters.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's new. I never heard of that before. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How do you approach balancing your personal vision with the collaboration of a cast or crew on the set?
I think when I go onto set, it's one of the same because they're there to help my vision come to life. You know, I'm the one that have the vision, but I don't do all the other things. I just do what it is to be done for a vision to come to life. So I've actually heard Quentin Tarantino once say that it's your job to have the vision, but it's not your job to create it, you know? Because, like, everybody has, like, a custom designer or a producer or, like, something like that, because that's their job, and that's help. Because you tell them what you want, and they help that come to the screen. So I feel like balancing it comes in one of the same altogether for it to come to life. And that's what I love about this industry altogether. It's amazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
As a writer, what's the most difficult story that you've ever written or, like, had to write?
I think it's the next one. Because I understand that, I mean, I've been through a lot, as we all have, right? But I'm still young, and I still haven't experienced a lot of things. And I feel like whatever is to come, that's going to be like
The next hard thing.
Exactly.
What will inspire, like, the next story, do you think?
I feel like traveling. I feel like moving or like changing my environment is going to change. It's going to make that happen. Like a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do when you feel disconnected from a character?
I think the most times that I felt disconnected from a character is because I wasn't given enough information, or my co-stars have, like, not been, like, in it enough, you know? So if I'm feeling disconnected because I haven't gotten enough information, I do that, like, classic theater thing where you, like, write a backstory for your character, right? So you sit down and you write, like, what were their favorite colors, right? What was 3 memories that they had as a kid? How do they connect to another character? Like, what's something that didn't happen on stage that happened with another character? And it really, like, it connects you to, like, the fact that they were people before you jumped into their world. So I think that was one that, like, usually helps me a lot, is write the past for them, because you're playing out the present and the future. And so it connects you, like, just back to who they are. And then you get to create who they were, you know? So I like that. And then if I'm, like, struggling with, like, co-stars and stuff, because sometimes when they're just not into it, it's like I can't get into it. I usually just, like, look at them and I'm like, dude, like, we need to get into it. Like, we need to figure out what thing isn't working right now, because usually it's something like the way someone's saying a line, like, they don't know how to respond, or the way someone's, like, doing a movement, they don't know how to react. So it's like you get out of the scene because you don't, like, whoever did the last thing felt like that was, like, the end of the scene, and you don't know how to keep it going. So it's usually just a lot of, like, collaboration to, like, what are you feeling weird about that's making it not possible for us to continue moving forward and, like, be connected and be deep in this?
So you got to be on, like, the same page.
Sometimes that's a little hard, but, like, I think when you're working with a good cast who cares, it's easier to fall into, like, a good rhythm of making sure that you're communicating about things that, like, don't make sense or feel weird or make you feel off. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Can you walk us through the process of pre-production to a final cut?
Okay, from, like, all of my, like, previous films, pre-production is casting, location sighting, and sometimes it's, like, rewriting the script, because new ideas and things like that come across when you're in pre-production or even in production. But the biggest thing in pre-production is casting, and because you can't just pick anybody, you know, like, you can't just go out and pick anybody, because you got to know the actor and know that the actor knows what they're signing up for, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is casting, and on top of that is location sighting, because then you got to talk with, if they're corporate, or you got to talk to a manager and things like that. So that's, like, the production side of it. And production is, like, one of my favorite things is just on set filming, helping the vision come to life, and everybody collaborating. That's just, it's amazing. It's like a world that I can escape to, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that. And then post-production is probably the favorite, because it's editing process, it's, you know, marketing, getting it out there, promo videos and stuff like that. And then it comes out to the world and everybody gets to watch it.
Yeah.
So it's really fun, man. I love doing this, and I can't wait until like Pi Junior is done.
It's like the process just starts good and then just like gets great.
And then
as
I
it goes
understand that
on.
also there's like struggles in between.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes with, you know.
Yeah. So have you like started or like rewritten any bits of Pipe Dream since we've started collaborating or since you started collaborating with anybody else so far?
No, I have not, because I feel like this is it's not based on a real story, but it's a real story.
Yeah.
And real stories can't be rewritten, you know? Even though some people do rewrite things in like biography films and stuff like that, this is a real story that can actually happen and has happened to people. And it's kind of like happened to me, me trying to go to New York and things like that. So I don't want to, even if I find myself going to, I want to stop myself for it because I want it to be authentic. How do you build chemistry with a co-star?
Okay, so it's hard because it's like chemistry could be like the brother and sister chemistry I've had with other characters before, right? Or it could be like romantic chemistry. With both, I really like to start with like friendship. Like, not even like a deep friendship, but like find a couple of things in common, make a couple of inside jokes, things that like when things get awkward, you can bring it up, and like laughter always like triumphs over awkwardness.
Yes.
Like the second that you start laughing with somebody and like chatting with somebody, you feel so much better and like it doesn't feel awkward anymore. And I definitely think in the first couple weeks of any production, any show, it does feel a little weird with the cast because it's like we're working with new people, we're all playing characters, all of our characters are related to each other in some specific way, and if you've never met the people, it's like, hey, we're best friends. I have never spoken to you in my entire life,
So
right?
breaking that ice.
Right? So definitely breaking the ice is like the first big thing. As far as romantic like co-stars, I build a lot of chemistry through, like, we had like chemistry coaches in one of my shows, and like it was like an intimacy coach.
Intimacy. I heard
And
that.
so like, but we didn't really have like intimacy, so it was like a chemistry coach.
Okay.
But one of the things that like really helps is like learning boundaries, by like physical boundaries, learning emotional boundaries, like things we won't talk about, things we won't like touch, things like anything like that. And then just from there building off like real life experience, like if you've ever been in love, right? Like, you know, sort of the way you look at someone, and that's what makes it real. I don't have to love the co-star, but I know what the look looks like, and I can look at that person as a friend then, since I built the friendship with like the love of friendship, and then like add like that little bit of like romantic love into it. It's a lot of like weird like just me stuff. I don't know if anyone else does anything like that, but like for me it helps to just be like, I remember what it's like to be in love. I remember what it's like to like be in that situation with like the butterflies and like you guys make eye contact, all that sort of thing. And I kind of bring it back to like that middle school girl the first time that she like found out a boy had a crush on her, you know? And it's like that sappy like, oh my gosh, like, hey, right? And then I bring it back into like the actual story and like what makes sense and stuff, dial it back down or like up depending on what's kind of needed. But it all really does start from like an actual friendship and not just like a co-star relationship, because you can't snap on and off like a relationship with somebody that you're supposed to be working so closely and whose characters are so close with each other.
So what about like the opposite? What if you're friends with somebody in real life, but your characters are
If
like,
they're
nemesis?
enemies, I think it's more fun. I've definitely had like my best friends be like my worst enemies and stuff. It's more fun because you go on stage and you're just like brutal, like you're mean and you're shoving each other. Like I've had like fighting scenes. Like I hit my best friend across the hand like so hard it echoed. But like it's fun because like when you're on stage you're so into it because you're doing the exact opposite, so you're overcorrecting a little bit, like how mean you have to be, how mean you have to act, how like much the hatred has to be. And then you get backstage and it's like, isn't it so funny that we're so close, like we're best friends and we just like yelled at each other, like fought. I don't know. I feel like I like that a little bit better, is like obviously the ideal would be like be best friends with the person that you're playing like lovers with, or be best friends with the person you're playing best friends with. But like when your best friend is your enemy, like it also just like it creates a different kind of chemistry. And I really like kind of experimenting with all of that. How do you work with the actors to get the performances that you need?
Oh, wow. So before we start shooting the scene, I block the scene where we need to shoot, how it's gonna be shot, where the camera angle is gonna be, and I want to ask the actors on like, what would your character do in this situation? It's okay because I know a lot of actors I worked with like mess up the lines, but I tell them like it's okay because as long as you get the conversation plot across, then it's okay. As long as you get the ideal of what's going on across, that's fine. So I like to talk to them and make them understand or help them to understand like, what would your character do in this moment? I know I wrote it, I'm directing it, I came up with their life and things like that, but you're the one that's playing and stepping into this role. Like, what would they do in this situation? I want them to have that freedom to run with that.
Yeah.
So and I feel like it helps them be more comfortable in their own space to give the best performance.
I like that.
Yeah. Which actor inspired you and why?
Like for this specifically, or just like in general?
In general.
Favorite actors or like actresses right now are Madeline Klein and Madeline Petch, which is fun and weird. I feel like Madeline Petch because I grew up like kind of watching, not grew up, but like my teenage years and like sort of end of middle school area, I was watching a lot of Riverdale, and I really like, she had such a diverse character throughout Riverdale where like she had those happy scenes, she had like those gut-wrenching like crying scenes, you know, horror, terrifying, running from murderers, like that sort of thing. And I just think it's so cool to see actresses who are so versatile, like they aren't put into, you know, one box or the other. And then throughout the, you know, seasons, you watch her grow from like a teenager to an adult woman, and you can see the transition in her character even though she is technically so much older than like the people that she's playing.
I've never seen the show, but
she's plays 16, she's 26 or something like that. So she's 10 years older, but she's playing 16 really well, and then, you know, she goes through and like there's all sorts of stuff. And then it's the same thing with Madeline Klein, where it's like she's in horror movies, right? But she's also like in Outer Banks, and she's like a teenage girl, but she's like in Outer Banks, like she's crying, she's happy, she got shot, like there's like all of these different things, and spoiler alert for any of those people that didn't know. But, like, again, I just really look up to, like, the versatile acting because I don't want to be put into a box of, like, this is one thing that I can do. I think Anne Hathaway is another, like, great one who's like that. She's musical theater as well as just, like, the Princess Diaries. Like, that's crazy.
Is Madeline Klein is she doing the I Know What You Did Last Summer? Is that movie?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, she
that's
is.
What that is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
so she's
cool.
also Sarah Cameron in Outer Banks, and she is
yeah,
phenomenal. So I think it's like those are like my actresses, maybe Zendaya a little bit,
I love Zendaya.
which I know you love Zendaya, so like it's definitely like a little bit Zendaya. I haven't watched a lot of, like, I don't watch superhero movies, so I haven't watched like any of the Spider-Verse stuff, but anything else she's been in, I've basically seen.
Yeah.
And I think she's also, like, extremely talented. But again, it goes back to that, like, I like versatile actresses who aren't doing the same thing over and over and over again, but, like, who have, like, all sorts of different scenes, all sorts of different characters on all the spectrums of, like, anything that they could be doing.
I think that's what TV does, too. It makes you, because you do like an 8-season television show, you're stuck to one thing. So, you got to step out and do like other things, too.
Yeah. Are there any directors or films that influenced your style?
My style? Celine Song. She recently just did Materialist.
I've never seen it, but...
Oh, with Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal?
What kind of movie is it?
Wait, you didn't hear of it?
No, what kind of movie is
Julia,
it?
come on.
But is it like a horror movie?
No, it's a...
Because, like, I don't watch horror movies, so, like, if it's a horror movie, like,
it's a rom-com. It's like,
I don't
so
like rom-coms,
Dakota
but-
Johnson plays this girl named Lucy, and she's like a matchmaker.
Okay.
And her old lover is played by Chris Evans.
Oh my goodness, wait, no, I have heard of this movie.
Jesus, I knew it.
There you
Like,
go. My bad.
yeah. It like came. I just watched it for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Not gonna lie, I cried.
But it inspired everything, that movie that we watched yesterday. Who else you got? Come on. Who inspired it? Let's go.
Well, I mean, I'll say Celine Song because she does like this two-shot frame, like we're sitting here now, like the camera's there. It gets both of our reactions at the same time instead of like over the shoulder.
Okay.
And when I have a line, I'm talking, and then when you have a line, you're talking, and it makes you, when you're watching, it makes you like actually, it's like you're there.
Yeah.
Because like when you're there, you're actually watching two people. But when you're in a movie, It has like the over the shoulder shot.
Yeah.
So she does like this 2-frame shot that makes you feel like you're there in the conversation. You're like actually looking back and forth.
All right.
And she like kind of pans in too. I love that. So like I like that type of style. And someone else is Ryan Coogler. I love Ryan Coogler.
Okay.
You know who Ryan Coogler is?
Nope. I don't know directors, dude.
Knew it. I know.
I know actors. I know a lot of actors.
Have you seen Creed? The first one.
Maybe.
Okay. Black Panther, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sinners.
I'm watching it tomorrow.
Nice.
So
It's on like.
I'll get back
on,
to
like,
you
streaming
on
services
Sinners.
now.
But,
All right, cool. Yeah, but yeah, he's a high-grossing black director now, and he's so real on what he does. You know what I mean? Like he knows what he wants. He comes every story he does, or like with Sinners, it came from his childhood and his uncle and his grandparents and stuff like that. So the style of how he approaches his films is what I admire a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's lucky number.
You gotta hear this? All right.
If that doesn't tell you a little something about me, you know?
Was there a role that changed how you see yourself or your craft?
Yes. So I was supposed to be in Mary Poppins Junior in my 8th grade year.
Okay.
And then COVID happened, so it got canceled. But I ended up being able to be in Mary Poppins, like regular Mary Poppins, again my junior year. And I think that Jane Banks changed everything for me. And it sounds weird, right? Because she was just like this little British 10-year-old, you know? And I love her. But of all the characters that I played, she has been the most important to me because she really connected me with my inner child again. Like, I had to get out of, like, the headspace that I was in at whatever age I was, 16, and go back to being 10, right? And I had to do little stuff like skipping around the stage and, like, making faces at my brother and, like, stuff that I don't think that I'd done in so many years just because I, like, wanted to grow up so bad. I grew up a little too fast. But it was nice because I didn't realize how badly I wanted to be, like, connect with my inner child again. And once I had her, like, now I play, like, a lot of kid roles, and it's easy for me to snap back into that. And it just, like, for some reason, being her, like, she's sassy, she's, like, a little sweet, she's got this cute relationship with her brother, like, she's a little bit of a brat, like, something about her just connected to, like, my inner soul. And I just kind of keep her with me all the time. And I didn't realize that I do that with, like, a lot of my characters, but Jane's the one that I see a lot in, like, real life. When I'm, like, out and about and I see dogs and I'm like, wow, look at dog. I'm like, that was totally, like, my inner child. That was Jane Banks. Like, she's in there. She, like, lives a little bit in my head, and all of my characters do, but of all of the ones that, like, I have within me, like, you take a little piece of a character with you when you play them. Of all the ones, she's the one who's, like, the loudest and the one who gives me the confidence to keep going. I don't know why. She was just, like, she was determined, she was driven, she was sassy, she knew what she wanted, she, like, wasn't taking nothing from nobody.
I think it's important to feed into your inner child. I think a lot of people, like a lot of grown-ups or adults in general, just are, like, lost because they don't feed into their inner child, or you forget how it was to dream or to have a dream or to chase something that they really love. I think that's very important. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of adults in general are missing.
Yeah.
Feed into your inner child.
Feed into your inner child.
Yeah.
What part of directing is the most fulfilling for you? And then what part is the most exhausting?
I would start with exhausting. Scheduling, availability. It is the hardest thing because, for one, a lot of my projects are unpaid to the crew, cast and crew. And so I understand when people prioritize their work life over what they're doing for me. And I appreciate them, you know, taking time out the day just to have my vision come to life. So that's the biggest thing. And I learned that when I made my first film like a year and a half ago, is scheduling and availability. I would love to pay the people that help me with my vision, and I want to, but it's steps to take to get to that level. And I understand that. And I appreciate the people that work with me and understand that too. So that's the most exhausting. The most fulfilling is seeing everyone making this happen. Like, when I'm on set, I kind of just like look around. I'm like, wow, like we're really making something right now.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Like, I'm like extremely grateful for everyone that has a dream, has this dream, and wants to take it to the next level, and we have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's the most fulfilling thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
No, I agree. It's really fulfilling. It's like being surrounded by people who are all like putting into the same dream.
Exactly. And like they all love it. Like that's the biggest thing for me. Like we all are here
Yes.
because we love to do this.
There's nothing quite like being with other actors, directors, people who share your same craft, because it's like we're not here because we have to be. Like when you go to your 9-to-5 job or whatever
Yeah.
else you do, right, school, whatever it is, like you have to be there. That's how you have to make money. That's how you have to like to be able to do your dream. But like when you're in a room full of people who are just doing their dream and they put aside the 9-to-5 and the have to do, like it's a place of
100%.
freedom for everyone, and you can see it when you're working with them.
See it, and like I get chills.
Yeah.
Man. It's amazing. Yeah. If you weren't acting, what would you be doing?
Probably what I'm doing right now as I'm acting. I'm a nanny, and I just love working with kids. I think all I've ever really wanted to be is a mom, and so like acting is like definitely up there, but it's like if you've ever seen the trend that's like 99% of me wants to be an actress, it's like 100% of me wants to be a mom. So right now I guess I'm kind of just doing like the closest thing that I can get to just be like around kids and be pouring into them as much as I can. So I'm a nanny for like 3 different families right now. And then I also volunteer at my church. I'm the teacher for the 5 and 6-year-olds for church. And so it's just like, I just want to pour into kids like so much. And I really want to be an actress too, but it's like, it's cool because I can do both. Right? And it's
Right.
like, even when I'm not like I'm acting right now, right? But I'm still working my jobs. I'm still pouring into those kids. Sundays
Yeah.
are still like, I'm going to be teaching and stuff.
Still time for
And
it.
even if like I get bigger in acting, I really hope I do, like that's not going to be taken away from me because it's one of those things that I'm going to prioritize no matter what.
I feel like a lot of people think they have to go with one thing and let go of the other.
Mhm.
But you can make both work.
Like one of the things I'm never going to let go of is
Yeah.
volunteering. Like
100%.
like I love it. I've been doing it for 5 years. Like volunteering is like my thing, and I love those kids. They know who I am. Like they're so excited to see me teach and stuff, and it's just like that fills my cup enough for me to go into set with a full cup and be able to fill other people and like do my very best. I need both, and we need good people pouring into us and to pour into other people. What do you hope the audience takes away from your work?
It's a few things, but to trim it down to one thing, it would be it's okay to express yourself. Because obviously we live in a world where we're afraid to be ourselves, We scroll mindlessly and see other people live this life and suspect or expect that we want to be this too, when deep down you want to be something else. And because I went to school with people that had dreams of this and that and everything, and now they've left that dream because of fast money, I guess. You know what I mean? And understanding that that's not, you and God know that's not who you are.
Yeah.
You know this dream that you have and you gave up on it. And I want audiences to understand that it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to be who you are, truly as who you are,
Yeah.
I feel like that's, because why be fake? I mean, everything we see on social media is fake anyway. There's
Yeah.
fake news and things like that. So why not? Because I look at it like this. If you can look in the mirror and tell yourself what do you want to be, you know if you're lying or not.
Yeah.
You can lie to anybody else all you want, but you know when you're lying. So what you really are, who you really want to be, go look in the mirror and ask yourself that and see what the answer is going to be. So I want people to understand that it's okay to be yourself and express yourself. What is something you hope we accomplish with Pipe Dream?
I hope that we, like, as a full cast, as the production team, as everything, like, can be a big break for people who want the big break. Like, I hope that this can be the thing that it's like, that was Carlito's first work. That was, like, his work, right? Like, you've done previous films and stuff the same way I've done previous shows or previous films, and, like, I want this to be the thing where it's, like, the first one that they think of is, like, Pipe Dream. Like, that was the one. And not, like, a one-hit wonder, but, like, the beginning of the, like, the next years and years and years of
Yeah.
your life. And I want that to be the same thing for me and for the other actors there who like just want like a little push into the door of like a really, let's be honest, tight-knit, closed community, right? Like you see the same 50 actors in every movie and every show, right? And I want this to be the one that like even cracks the door for a couple of us to just be able to squeeze through. And then I want us to keep the connections so that the people who did
connections.
squeeze through
Yeah.
can look back and be like, yes, you were in that film with me, like you deserve to be up here with me. I want us to support each other, especially because this dream is such a hard one to achieve for every single one of the people on this project. Like, I want it to be like, this was our pipe dream that pushed us through to the next pipe dream.
I like the way you just
Yeah,
put that.
I put that good.
I like that. I'm gonna have to use that in the future. I like that. That's what's up. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
How do you feel the industry is changing, and where do you see your place in it?
For one, I feel like it is and it's not at the same time because we always get a bunch of sequels. You know, like that's
They're just taking the same story.
the
Again and
same story
again.
because that's what people want to see, right? Like
And yet no one wants to.
And
Like
no
you
one
see like
wants
all
to.
of the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff and it's like, dude,
It's
stop making
bad.
sequels. Like none of
Yes.
us care.
like Joker 2,
Yeah.
should never did it. But like because these producers, these executives and everything, they're chasing money because that way they think a like a sequel blockbuster is gonna do, and it's like Dakota Johnson actually said this. She said like producers and the ones that don't watch movies are the ones that's making the sequels because they think that's what people want to watch.
Yeah.
But it's about the actors and the real filmmakers that actually watch movies, that actually know a vision, that know what the audience wants to see. So in a way of, I think it's changing in that way because I feel like real filmmakers are getting more power in the industry.
Yeah.
And that's going to open more original ideas. And then that opens more original ideas for me because I'm going to bring original ideas as well. So what the industry needs is original ideas.
Yeah.
We love sequels. We love Toy Story 5 and Shrek 6. Like, we love it.
No.
But
I don't know if we do love Toy Story 5 and Shrek 6. I think after the third Toy Story we were good and
really?
we did not
I think
need
4 was with the spoon, right?
Yeah, with Forky.
Forky, yeah.
Sporky.
Forky,
Sporky.
Sporky, yeah.
Whatever his name was.
Yeah, I guess they could have stopped at 3.
Like
but
I really liked seeing like the end of 3 was such a good like end to the chapter, right? Like he gave his toys and
it
like
was
we
sad.
watched him drive away, but we watched like a little girl start her life with them and like
it was passed on.
like it was beautiful, right? But it's like we did not need to see like what she did with the toys. I think it's just it was beautiful that like we saw his splice of life, right? Like we saw
Yeah.
just the amount that he did, just the amount that like
Exactly.
he had. We did not need to like it doesn't need to be generational. I like when we see just a clip of someone's story,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's what like the first 3 Toy Stories did really well is we saw that clip of someone's story, that clip of someone's life, right? We watched a little boy grow up. We watched his toys stopped getting played with and like slowly get given to Bonnie. And so I don't know. I feel like that's what if we're gonna do sequels, we need to just like end them like that.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing with Shrek, where it's like, dude, the first Shrek was fire. I love the first Shrek, right? And then the second Shrek, you were like, oh well. And then like, the third one, you were like, oh, okay, we need to stop making Shreks, guys. Like, I don't think that
Yeah.
we needed to keep going with that. But one that I think
Yeah.
does it well is like Madagascar. Like
Oh,
they did
yeah.
3 good Madagascar movies, but then they jumped it into like here's a different part of the same universe, which I liked. They did penguins, right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
penguins,
spin-off,
right? Like
yeah.
it wasn't the same characters, but it was like the same. It was a couple of same characters, but not your
Mm-hmm.
main characters in a completely different context. But like it didn't take away from the original movies. I like
Yes.
Madagascar for that because they took those main characters, they ended their story, they got their happy ending, right? But these side characters, like they were just on the side before, and now they're the main characters. We're jumping story to story. Like I really like that.
And yeah, they made like a lot of cameos in Madagascar and now they get their own. Yeah.
And now they get their own like
Yeah.
little thing. And like the writers of Madagascar are funny, and like their
Yes.
jokes are original, their plots are original. Like
Exactly.
evil octopus and like penguins is crazy.
Yeah.
Like I loved that. That was great. New question because it like just popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
Are you worried about AI like taking your job?
I don't think AI can take away a human being's imagination. So no, in a sense of it could take away someone's job on set, but someone that's coming in to the production with the vision, I don't think so necessarily. I do have my pros and cons with AI. I feel like AI does try to take away the real imagination from a human being to bring the screen, but also the pros of AI is like it does help bring a vision to life. So no, not as a filmmaker, no, but I'm actually afraid that it might take away some positions that on set that could happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
What makes Julia?
I feel like I have a couple of things about me that will always be me, right? And so those are just going to be the things, right? I am a Christian, but specifically I'm a daughter of God. You know, I'm extremely faithful, and that is like the biggest part of my entire life. I base everything on that. And so I think if it comes down to like one thing about me, I'm a daughter of Christ, because at the end of the day, this life isn't even mine. And I'm not even mine. I'm his, right? I'm his daughter, I'm his creation, and I'm here for his works. So it's, at the end of the day, it's not even about me. But if you want to put into like, what did he make me, right? Like, I feel like I'm pretty energetic. I've got like a good bubbly personality. I'm pretty creative, I would say. I'm a music lover. Like, I love music, and I think that that's like another big piece of like my entire life is like just listening to music and finding new music and stuff. I obviously love acting. I've always been an actress. I've always been a performer. When I was, because it's like I started with dance, right? And I started dancing when I was 2, and I did it until I think I was 12. So, 10 years of dance. And that, like, I've always been a performer. Like, I hated dance, but I loved being on stage, and I loved the attention, and I loved the spotlights, right? And like that's still me. I feel like in like a less self-absorbed way, and more in like a I like giving a story to an audience and portraying something that impacts them more than just like being on stage. But like I've always been a performer. I've always been creative. I've always had music. Always been, you know, faithful woman, I think. I think those are like my main things.
Yeah. I think a lot of people need to ask themselves that, you know.
All right, what makes Carlito Carlito? Right now, same question. You've had less time to think about it.
Wow. The struggles and the pain in my past made me who I am. I've always, everything that I've been through up to now, I've always questioned it. And I've always wondered why, and asking God, why me, why this, like, why does this have to happen? And for some reason, somehow, it always was a reason behind it. And I think that's what made me who I am, and that would make me a more of a persevering person, passionate. I'm a big dream chaser. I really believe in dreams can come true. Like, I'm a heavy believer in that, but it doesn't happen without your will to make it work as well. You can pray on it all you want, you know, but
if you don't get up and start working on it, it's not
you
gonna
can't
happen.
just wish for it, hope for it, pray on it, and then do nothing. You have to do your part too. And I think what makes me is chasing in what I believe in, and thanking God every day that I'm in the position I am, and I'm thanking Him that everything I've been through, all the struggles and pain and heartache and all that above, that I'm where I am for a reason. So that makes me me. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like driven is a good word for you. You know?
Driven. Yeah, I guess that does bring it all together.
Yeah, driven.
Driven.
I feel like I'm also driven, but I won't take your word.
No,
you know,
I can see
I like it.
We can share.
I'm trying to think of like more things about like me that are like me, you know?
Yeah. Well, like, what makes you like, I mean, unique or like different from others? Would you say? Because for me, I would say is chasing or manifesting a dream. You know, I feel like it's so, like, I go back to it, like, I know so many people that had one and just lost it. You know what I mean? They just lose the drive on chasing what they really love to do. You know.
I think it's the way I love people.
Oh,
Like,
look at that.
it was so cute. What a nice answer,
I like
right?
that.
But
I
it's
like
true.
that.
Like, I think it's the way that I love people and the way that I love things, because I kind of do it without ceasing, right? And I love people till I'm battered and bruised and hurt, and that can be a fault, but most of the time it's like I watch love transform people. I watch the love of like my art inspire people. I like watch my love for being on stage make people emotional and make people see something like that it's possible to be doing the thing that you love, and like that it's possible to, I don't know, to like we said, like do what you love and love what you do. So I think it comes down to that. Like the biggest thing that like I give to this world is my love. And nobody can do it the way that I do it, right? Nobody can do it the way that you do it.
Yeah.
But mine is, I feel, unique just because it's so passionate and unceasing. And the only reason I have that is, like, because God loves me so passionately and like, without ceasing. But I think it does come down to, like, I love things, and I love things hard, and I love things well, and I love things deeply. Like, I love animals. I love the color purple. My entire bedroom is purple. Like, when I love something, it's like, I love that thing. Like,
that's like a king color. Or like I think it represents as like
yeah, but like that's like deep royal purple.
Yeah,
I like
okay.
lavender. Like
Lavender.
lavender
You like
is my
the smell of
favorite.
lavender?
Yeah, it's my favorite color,
okay,
my
gotcha.
favorite smell, and my favorite
Valid.
flower. So,
Valid.
and it's probably gonna be my first tattoo. So, I love lavender, but like I said, like when I love something, like I went all in. It's my favorite color. It's my favorite flower. It's my favorite smell. Like I love lavender, and I feel like I do that with like everything else. Like I love acting. It's going to be my career. It's the thing that I like put my heart on the line for.
Yeah.
Like I love acting. It's the same thing with everything else.
So that's what drives you. You're
Love. Driven by love.
Driven by love.
Driven by love. That's cute. All right. Final question for you. The glare on my phone is crazy.
All right.
It is said that Carlito makes nothing but love stories. Why is that?
Why are you asking like that?
I don't, because
that was
like the first time I've read that question, so.
I do get this a lot. A lot of people ask me like, why do you do this? And like, why do you always make heartbreaking stories and stuff like that? Or I actually recently, back in February, I did a poem that I wrote in front of like a whole audience. And after that, a lot of people came to me, was like, dude, I didn't even know I can feel that way. I was like, really?
Nice.
Yeah, and like, it was like, man, that was deep. I was like, and it was telling me how people don't express like that. And that's the reason, because no one else is going to do it. And we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all on planet Earth to do one thing, and that's the 4-letter word, is to love. Like, it's that simple. And a lot of people, I mean, I think we forget that, you know? And that what makes us human. Like you said, loving others, you know what I mean? Love your neighbor. You know, that's what drives not just you and me and human beings, but that's why the trees grow. You know, that's why the wind blows. That's why the world spins, is because of love. So a lot of people run away or ignore that L word because it hits too hard. It hits home, you know, and it's too much for them. Or, you know, because when you're sad, you listen to sad music. I be in the greatest feeling, I be in the greatest moment, and I listen to sad music.
I
and just
love
be banging to it.
doing that.
Yeah,
Like
I be feeling great, and I'll put on.
Like,
some
today's the
sad
best
music.
in my life. Time to put on my crying playlist.
Yeah, like, and I just be chilling, because I understand, like, why listen to sad music when you're only sad? You can't listen when you're in a good mood. So I do that because no one else does it, you know. And I'm a huge Rod Wave fan, and a lot of people don't listen to Rod Wave because he said it himself, because it hits them too hard at home. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to feel that, but we're human. We're meant to feel it, and it's okay to feel it. So the music he makes is to make us feel what we're afraid to feel. And with my stories and with my vision, I want you to feel something you're afraid to feel that's actually inside of you, that you've been running away from how long you've been running away from. So I do that because no one else would do it, and because it makes us who we are. It's love. That's why.
I love how that tied itself up in a
Yeah.
little bow. My answer to your answer, and at the end of this, like, by the way, everyone's loved. We all feel loved.
mean-
We're excited about love. Because love is great.
It is.
Like, greatest blessing. To be able to love things, to be able to love people, like we love food. Everybody loves food. Like, everyone's
loves
got that
food.
food that they're like, oh, dude, like, right now,
Yeah.
I could go for that food.
Yeah.
And it's like, imagine if we didn't have love. And we couldn't love food. And we couldn't love sunny days. And we couldn't love music.
Where would
And,
we
like,
be?
we would, dude, this whole world
Yeah.
would just be like black and white, terrible,
Black and
like
white.
nothing, because we love color.
We love color.
We love everything. So I don't know. I love
And
love.
that's why I say, like, do what you love and love what you do, because how else will you get closer to your happiness, you know? No one else can make you happy. You have to find that happiness within yourself. And how do you do that is doing what you love, and what you're doing, you love that. So I want people to understand, well, I want people to stop running away
Yeah.
from the big L word, you know,
That makes
to
sense.
embrace it.
So do you think you'll ever do a story that's not a love story then?
I would, yeah, definitely, because my imagination is always running, you know, and I definitely want to step into other categories and stuff like that. But for now, the position I'm in, I feel like that's the best way I can express on what I want to bring out. Is love.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to end this. Look at him and be like, thanks for tuning in.
There we go. Keep going. Don't stop now.
That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. It was good to see you here. This was like you got to just sit and look at like a nice little intimate conversation between director and actress.
This is the start of something remarkable. And to understand that you can be yourself. And what I admire about Julia is her passion and the way, like she said, the way she loves people, and what drives her to chase this dream. I would never written Pipe Dream if it wasn't for her, 100%. I would never even be going to production or wanted to go to production for this film if it wasn't for her. So this is the start of something amazing. So as always, you know what it is. Do what you love, and you know the rest.
Love what you do.
Facts.